Hey, what up though?
Detroit is out cold.
Take 313. We here now.
What up, though?
No,
What's happening, X? What's happening? How your weekend, brother?
man, good, man, good. I'm just getting back, man. I had a little ski trip over the weekend, man. So I'm just getting back.
Okay. You look like you everything's still intact.
Everything's still intact, man. I came home with a couple small little nicks and knacks, man. With nothing major. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Hey, man. So we're going from skiing right into it, man. Uh Super Bowl was an amazing game, brother. Amazing game. Tell me what you thought about it, man. Tell me what you thought about watching that game.
To me, honestly, man, it was a little uneventful, man. I expected a little bit more out of Kansas City as far as just some competitiveness. You know what I mean? Like, they obviously got outplayed. You know what I mean? Based off of our predictions from last time, we kind of saw that coming, but I expected it to be a little bit more of a shootout. I expected to see some points on the board. I don't even think Kansas City scored a touchdown. You know what I mean? They ended up, you know what I'm saying, with 9 points, so they didn't even have a touchdown. You know what I mean? Like, I was expecting to see some more firepower from that offense. But then again, at the end of the day, the result is what I was expecting, man. The Tampa Bay to come out with the W, which they did. Tom to put on the show, which he, you know what I'm saying, he played pretty well. So I thought it lived up to somewhat what I expected, man. What about you?
It wasn't what I expected. The win was what I expected, obviously. Yeah, obviously I was going with Brady, man. Go blue, for sure. Uh, but oh yeah, no question. But it wasn't the result that I expected as far as how we got to the win for the Buccaneers. With that being said, that defense, that front four for Tampa Bay was unbelievable.
Yes, sir. Yes,
They
sir.
were unbelievable.
Pressure on him all night.
They made the difference.
Yeah, definitely. I give you that. I agree with that. They put pressure on him all night. He was very uncomfortable. That's all it looked like was him scrambling. Like, he's already trying to use his feet, but he was as soon as he caught the snap, it seems like he was already, hands in his face, the pocket collapsing immediately. So it was tough on him all day.
Speaking of him scrambling, listen to this stat. Do you know that he ran for over 490 yards total before throwing the ball? So in between him passing the ball, even 1 yard, throughout the whole game, in between him passing the ball, he ran for 490 yards. That's how much they had him scrambling. That's unbelievable. When I saw that stat, I was like, wow.
That's a lot.
And then it makes you visualize how much running he was doing. He actually, he come back out, he's running another 10 yards after dropping back 7 to 8 yards.
Yeah, he was running for his life. He was running for his life all day.
All day.
Person field. He was diving and making throws. He was throwing while getting sacked multiple times. Passes, he's getting flung to the ground. He's still throwing it up there, making risky plays. You know what I mean? Like, it was tough. It was just tough for him tonight.
Tampa Bay actually should have had a couple of more turnovers. But again, remember, before the game, I definitely spoke about the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely spoke about, I saw turnovers going to happen, with that defense, especially with their offensive lineman, their main offensive lineman being out, their left guard being out. I knew that it was definitely going to be a long day. Sue, so happy Sue got a chance to win the championship, man. I've always still been a Sue fan since his days with us in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew, again, him being this close to a championship, there's no way he was going to not make sure that happened, and not him alone, but him clogging the middle along with those other three guys. They made the game what it was. All Brady had to do was just dissect these guys because, again, like I said before, the running backs played such a big part. They didn't just have I think Fournette had 89 yards or so.
Fournette played well.
Huh?
Fournette played well.
Yeah. Actually, All the running backs played well. It just a lot of them to get as much runners for that.
Yeah.
But they definitely they moved the chains. They caught the ball well, and they had issues throughout the year with being able to catch that ball out the backfield. So they were catching it.
Yeah. Honestly, what I think it came down to, aside from the defensive pressure from the line, I feel like it really just came down to the veterans were hungry. You know what I mean? They got a lot of guys who had a chip on their shoulder. Fournette, he's been around the league. Antonio Brown, we know his story. He was out of the league for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had a lot of guys who made impact plays and who really impacted the game a lot, who had a chip on their shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Gronk, he set out, came back. Now I'm had a terrible reputation. It's been a little quieter as of late, but his reputation was terrible when he left Detroit. You know what I mean? From all incidents he had with kicking people and all that crazy stuff he was doing. But it's a lot of players that they have on that team and on that roster that had a chip on their shoulder. And honestly, I feel like it showed. So I think that was the main difference. The main difference, aside from just that defensive pressure that they put on Mahomes all night. But aside from that, those guys came ready to play.
They definitely came ready to play. And the hilarious thing when I'm thinking about the game is, our guest that we had on last show saying that he figured Brady was going to go for a big rushing game.
That was an off the wall prediction. We see Brady definitely had the impact. It was a more traditional Brady-like impact
for sure.
But yeah, that running game from Brady, that's not his strong suit. That's not his strong suit. We didn't see much that I didn't expect to.
I agree with
that. Yeah, Super Bowl was a good time, man. It was definitely fun. It was definitely entertaining. I want to make sure that wrapping up here with the Super Bowl, we had a lot of stuff going on as well in the NBA. Super Bowl was cool, but the NBA it's been pretty eventful as well. We got a few things we got to talk about with the league. I know you had a couple of things you wanted to talk about with the league. You can go ahead and start off first. What you thinking?
Okay, well, we're going to go right, from the best game in the NFL, the most important game, championship game, to we're right in the midst of NBA season. Beautiful time of the year if you love sports like you and I do. X Knows Best is taking a break real quick. While he's on that break, I just want to let everybody know we appreciate you checking us out at What Up Though Sports. And if you want to feel like you want to donate to What Up Though Sports so we can make this a bigger, grander show, please feel free to hit up patreon.com. That's patreon.com/ReadySetTV. Hit us up. Help us out. Let's grow What Up Though Sports so we can be here for you today and tomorrow. I also want to make sure I let you guys know, so you got any questions or any topics that you want us to talk about in sports, make sure you comment below. Comment below, let us know. Also, make sure you share and subscribe to our channel. What Up Though Sports, we appreciate you. Yeah, the NBA is definitely getting back to the old school roots, high scoring games, minute defense. High scoring games though, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. These young boys out here balling. Still got my vets in the league that I like. I'm still a Carmelo Anthony fan, so I love seeing him and LeBron and all the old heads that are still in the league balling. Love still seeing them there. So now, going from the old head group that's been in there for the last 10, 15 years to the group that's been there, the new stars. The new stars of the league like Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is balling right now. He's averaging over 30 points a game. Mm-hmm. Did almost the same thing last season. 27, 26, 27 points a game. Tell me what you think about Bradley Beal's game. Do you think he has MVP caliber talent?
I would say he definitely has MVP caliber talent. You know what I mean? I think if he was on a team that was competitive, I think he would still have similar numbers. I don't think he would average 30 plus with other scores around him because he would have to hit the ball a little bit more. But I mean, even playing alongside Russell Westbrook, who's a high volume, high usage player, he's still putting up huge numbers. So if he was on a successful team, if his team was number one in the East, he would definitely be in the MVP conversation. So his skill set, his ability to put the ball in the basket, his ability to put the ball in the basket in tough situations, over tough defense, closing out games, making clutch baskets. Like offensively, he's so polished. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like he could be in that conversation. His team is just not competitive at all. You know what I mean? To where people would take him seriously. Last year, he didn't even make an All-Star game because how bad his team was. But let him be the first team instead of the last. I bet you he'd be right in that MVP conversation. He would get a vote for me.
No question. Bradley Beal definitely has an MVP talent. Again, not many shooters in the league can shoot as good as he can. He's one of the best top 5 shooters in the league. And that's mid-range and 3. So, a lot of times in the league, you might find a guy that's a great 3-point shooter, but he's not a great mid-range shooter. He doesn't even attempt a lot of mid-range shots. Or you find mid-range guys that don't actually have the 3-point range. And that's what they need to work on to become better players. With Bradley Beal, I even think he's great off the dribble. That creates that mid-range shot because you're worried about his 3-point range. And also all the way to the basket, strong. You know, so he really, he's grown up in the league, actually. He's only played 1 year in college ball. He's been in the league ever since. With that being said, he's just gotten better and better. His talent has gotten better. And truthfully, they don't talk about his defense much, but Bradley Beal checks the 2 guards. You know, they're not, you know, sometimes the best scorers on the teams, they move them to somebody else so they're not using all their energy towards guarding the other best player. That's not Bradley Beal. He's going to check the 2 guard. He will. And he can check a 3. He's strong enough. He has the attitude, the mental attitude to you know, be upset about you scoring on him. And you know, that's the best defensive players, the defensive players that are upset that you score. You know, I think Bill is a great player. Again, I agree with you on that tip. Now, we go from Bradley Beal being the baller he is to a real baller, LaMelo Ball.
Okay.
With that being said, tell me, man, not only is this guy Rookie of the Year, does he already have it sewn up? Secondly, tell me what you think his ceiling is.
So just to answer the first question, I think he's definitely at this particular moment the front runner for Rookie of the Year. I would not yet say he has it sewn up just because we know from experience how wild and how crazy the league can shift. There's been drastic swings. We saw players like, for example, Trae Young, when he first stepped into the league, his first few months in the league where he was terrible. People were calling him a bust. And the next thing you know, he flipped a switch and he was Trae Young out there ice train shivering on people, you know what I mean, and going crazy. So it's just very, very tough to say that he has it in the bag being so early into the season. I will say, though, he is the front runner. And as far as it goes with his ceiling, I won't put one on him. You know what I mean? He has a full array offensively. He hasn't shown us too much with the mid-range scoring, but he's getting to the basket and finishing. Okay, you know what I mean? He's been showing some potential as far as his finishing. His deep ball is looking pretty promising. His playmaking is looking fantastic. So, and on top of that, his size, his athleticism is looking much better than I thought it would at this level. He's getting some steals, you know what I mean? He's playing a pretty complete game to be a couple months into the NBA, you know what I mean? And so with that said, I won't put a ceiling on him, you know what I mean? As far as he can take it. I don't see anything that is a huge hole in his game to where I would say, you know, I don't think he'll be able to make the jump to a starter, an all-star, you know, a legend in the league. You never know, you know what I'm saying? So I won't put a ceiling on his game, but I'll say I see a lot of promise. I can see him definitely being a multiple-time all-star if he continues to grow and his trajectory continues and he continues along the path that he's on now. But I won't put a ceiling on him as far as what I think his cap is, because I don't see a hole in his game that will make me do so.
The only hole in his game that I see really is defensive. And he's going to get better because he's going to get stronger. He's going to have to be stronger in order to be a better defensive player. But he plays defense He tries to play defense.
Good try.
That's what I appreciate. Because a
Mhm.
lot of young bucks that come in the league, unless they're in the league because they're defensively, because they're defensive players,
Mhm.
they don't think defensively. They're, one-sided. They're trying to score buckets. So the fact that he plays both is great. Now I do think his ceiling is, like you said, multiple-time All-Star.
Mhm.
And he makes everybody around him better. So Ball, I'm appreciating his game right now.
No,
I'm
definitely.
appreciating his game right now. So next up, I want this is going to be a tough one. I want you to tell me your top 3 centers in the NBA right now.
So I feel like the first 2 are kind of a given for me as far as when I'm looking at Joel Embiid,
Okay.
at Nikola Jokic. I feel like
Okay.
the 2, based off this season, I would go Jokic 2, Joel Embiid 1.
Mm-hmm.
Third place is where you kind of come to a decision.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look at somebody like Bam Adebayo, whose defense has always been stellar, and now he's including a mid-range jumper that's becoming consistent. He's always been a pretty steady playmaker from the center position, but he's expanding upon that. When Jimmy Butler was out for a couple of weeks, we saw Bam with a 40-point game, another game in high 20s, multiple games with high assist numbers. So players like Bam Adebayo, Vucevic is playing great this season. You know what I'm saying? He's shooting the ball really well. He's always been a 20 and 10 type of player. He's been, 23, 24 points, still getting those same rebounds and shooting the ball fantastic. Obviously, players like Rudy Gobert. I'm not a huge Rudy Gobert fan or anything.
Neither am I.
His defense always is going to bring him into the conversation with just a top center.
Defense is the only reason he's going to be in any conversation.
Very factual, very factual. But yeah, for me, if I had to pick, and maybe I'm being a little biased, I'm a big Bam fan. Didn't sleep on Karl Anthony Towns as well. I didn't mention his name, but Karl Anthony Towns, talent-wise, is in the conversation as well. But give me Joel.
Okay.
Give me Jokic.
Okay.
Give me Adebayo.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go a little. Again, those top 2, you can go back and forth with who you think.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Joel 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I'm gonna go with the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
But my third, you didn't mention at all. Maybe you don't hold him where I hold him, and I understand as well because he's always hurt. But my third is Porzingis. And Porzingis, when he's not hurt, and that's even playing with Luka, a guy that's averaging 30. Porzingis is still getting you 23, 24 points a game. Changes the whole scope of the game. As long as he's actually not hurt, he opens up the floor. He can post. I would post him more, but he can post. He opens up the floor. He got better range and a better shooter than Luka is, to me. At a guy that's 7'4".
He's long.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't. Well, I wouldn't say he doesn't take bad shots because to me at 7'4", you need to be posting more, just because nobody can check you down there. And he has some moves. He has hook shots. He has turnarounds. He has jump hooks. He drop steps. I've seen him do everything when he was in New York.
Okay.
Now that he's at Dallas, he's doing a lot more jump shooting. But he's hitting. Again, after you take those first 2 away, I think he's the next best guy. Again, I can't argue about Towns.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he's a beast. But I'm just like, give me the 7'4" guy if he can stay away from injuries.
This is my problem with Porzingis, though.
Okay.
I mean, like I think Porzingis is a very interesting player. I like him much better as a power forward than a center. I think that his physicality is nowhere near where it needs to be a center. I think that he is not really looking to bang. I think that he is not really looking to body up down in the post. I think that he is more of a versatile stretch 4 that can post when need be, especially over smaller players who will be playing the 4. Mm-hmm. But I think him as a 5, we've seen him really struggle defensively. Now, New York Porzingis was a different player. I want to start by saying that. What was the difference? First of all, pre-injury, his mobility was tremendous. His defense was, I won't say it was tremendous, but he was definitely an impact player on defense. You know what I mean? He was blocking a lot of shots. His length was just clogging up the lane. Not to the extent of, but in an Anthony Davis type of way, where his length was both clogging the passing lane and protecting the rim at the same time. You know what I mean? That's a very rare thing in the NBA, period. But in Dallas, we haven't really saw that. Now, I can say some of it is based off the injury. His role is a little bit different, but I think I like him better as a 4 just because his physicality has been low and his defense as a center. Honestly, it's been trash. His defense as a center has been trash. Like we've in Dallas, at least, it's been pretty bad. Nonetheless, his skill set and his I hate to go to the term potential all the time talking about players in the league because everybody says it, but his potential and his skill set are fantastic. You know what I mean? I'm a huge fan, but I would take probably Towns, definitely Bam this year, probably Vucevic. Maybe even I'm not a fan, maybe even Gobert. There's a few players I would take over him right now to be my starting center in the league.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. I definitely am not taking Rudy over him. I'm definitely not taking, again, I'm saying if he isn't injured, I'm not taking Bam over him either. And I like Bam. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this about your view on defensive centers. To me, the centers aren't. That's why Shaq dogs so many centers all the time. You know what I'm saying? That the centers aren't tough guys. You don't have to be a guy that's going to bang in there to be a good center nowadays, because nowadays the centers are shooting threes. You know what I'm saying? There's very few that are down there. And my thing, again, if you can defensive rebound, you're playing defense. You know, so again, he can board. Again, he's not the same guy he was in New York, because when he was playing with Melo, he'd go from checking you out there to down in the paint, catching your shot at the rim. He was a lot more mobile. But I just think I'm a guy right now, since the league has become so much of a soft league to me as far as tough guys and guys really battling in the post. Again, people still just now are appreciating Embiid, because Embiid for the last 2-3 years would not go in the paint. He would go in the paint 3-4 times a game. Now he's starting to see, okay, in order for us to win, Doc Rivers gets there and was like, you're going to be in the paint, buddy. I don't mind you shooting some jump shots, but you're a center. You're playing center for us. You're going to be a big man. And this is the first year you see him dominating down there. So the league really is not really key on big men playing the old school big man game. So with that being said, I'll take the 7-4 guy if he's not going to be injured, because to me, he spreads the floor. He doesn't mind passing the ball. He can pass the ball. And he can create off the dribble at 7-4. I've seen it, so I'm like, and again, you have your guys that you will roll with as a third. That's my guy I'm rolling with as a third. A lot of good centers in the league. We're looking for somebody that can play on both sides of the ball. Totally understand it. So I'm going to go from the big man to a question, man. Tell me, everybody's saying that the Clippers is one of the top teams in the West and might possibly be a championship team. We don't know who the Clippers leader is, really. Everybody want to say it's Kawhi, because he won championships in other places and he brought championship type of defense to teams. But to me, Paul George plays defense in the same vicinity as Kawhi. And he's scoring same vicinity as Kawhi. And the thing that he does and brings to the table that Kawhi doesn't is he is a vocal leader. And this year, I like seeing a guy that fell on his face the year before and come back how he's balling right now. That tells me a lot about him as a ball player. You know what I'm saying? He could have just fell off like Nick Anderson did. Everybody remember Nick Anderson was a beast until he fell off. Yeah. He could have did the same thing. The reason he didn't is because I think it's in him to be a leader and to want to be a champion. Who is the leader at the Clippers?
So couple things. First of all, shout out to Nick Anderson. Wish he would have hit the free throws. It would have been a lot different story. Shout out to that team in back in the 90s. That was a fun team.
That was a great team.
as far as the Clippers go, as far as leaders go, I don't think to be the team's leader, you have to be a scream in everybody's face type of guy. You know what I mean? We saw Kawhi do it in Toronto as a lead by example type of player. I think he probably learned some of that growing up in the league in San Antonio behind Tim Duncan, who was the same type of play. You know what I mean? Who could teach you, who could talk to you, who would tell you, and who would command the team's respect off of his presence and by, leading by example. And I don't see an issue with that. You know what I mean? Everybody isn't the type of guy that's a rah-rah type of leader. And that team has players who are like that. That team has people like Patrick Beverley who will come into the timeout and scream at everybody when they're not playing hard enough and tell them to tighten up. True. You know what I mean? They have players who can kind of step into that role when the time comes. But I think their true leader is and always will be Kawhi Leonard, just for the simple fact that, one, he's a champion. You know what I'm saying? What we saw him do in Toronto, we didn't see that coming. You know what I mean? And he really showed out, period. And bringing him over to LA, I feel like his leadership style will be more of a leading by example. You know what I mean? This year he's been playing more games. He's been more focused and back to his roots on the defensive end, which is where he made his name. And just things like that are sparking that team to play a little harder. You know what I mean? Now, Paul George is their best one-on-one offensive player, I believe. But as far as their leadership, I think that could still be Kawhi without him being vocal. He's got Lou Will that can get loud in the locker room. He's got Pat Bev who can get loud in the locker room, or PG, like you said, that might get loud from time to time. But he can lead by example, in my opinion.
Okay, hey, can't argue with that. I know one thing, though, X, we're getting down towards the end of the episode. With that being said, one of the questions that I do want to ask you, that I need to know, with your experience watching the NBA, tell me currently, who is currently the best current foreign player that's in the NBA? We have a lot.
The best foreign player, for me, I feel like there's a lot of talent. You know what I mean? There's a lot of talent. I feel like when you talk about the top three or the top player, but I'll give some honorable mentions. You have to mention Luka. You have to mention Giannis. You have to mention Joel Embiid. You have to mention Jokic. You know what I mean? There's a lot of players that are in the conversation.
Just real quick, I think that's the reason that you can't. I don't want a 1B, one. Who's the top? Because there are 3 or 4 guys that anybody can say, hey, this is that guy. I don't want a B or C, 1B, 1C. Who's the best?
Fair enough. For me, the best foreign player as of right now, Joel Embiid. He's looking like the MVP of the league. He's scoring about 30 points a game, like 29 and a half points. Yeah. He's still getting 10 plus rebounds. He's shooting almost 60% from the field, close to 40 from 3, 85 from the line. He's blocking shots. He's getting steals. His team is first in the league in the Eastern Conference. So he'd be mine. He'd be mine as of right now this season. I'm going Joel Embiid.
Okay, can't argue with that a bit. Lastly, I need you to tell me who the best backcourt in the NBA. We'll end the show off on that. The best backcourt in the NBA is who?
The best backcourt in the NBA. So the best backcourt in the NBA, I don't think you're gonna like my answer, to be 100% honest. But it's true. The best backcourt in the NBA is right now the Phoenix Suns with Chris Paul and Devin Booker. After James Harden and Kyrie Irving, of course. We're not gonna be disrespectful.
Okay.
Not to be disrespectful now to Kyrie and James Harden, but I feel like that's a given. They got 2 All-Stars. They got Kyrie Irving, you know what I'm saying? We just watched that man a couple years ago score 40 in the finals. They got James Harden, scoring champ multiple times, you know what I'm saying? A league MVP, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the best backcourt in the NBA. But aside from that, before that trade ever happened, I wish Dame and CJ were healthy so I can give them some love while I talk about this. Hopefully CJ will get better soon from that foot injury. I like Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I think especially when it comes time to the playoffs, that's when Chris Paul brings the most value.
Mhm.
His court presence, you know what I'm saying, his game control. Just like we watched him do last year in Oklahoma City. If he could bring that to the table with Devin Booker playing his game, that's a scary backcourt. I don't see another backcourt aside Brooklyn that's better than that one. What about you?
I'm going with Brooklyn all day. At least while Golden State is down.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when Clay comes back, flat out, hands down, Golden State's the best.
Wait. So when Clay comes back, the best backcourt is now Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson?
No question.
See, I'm not feeling that.
I definitely am going with Golden State as the best backcourt. They play together the longest. Okay. They're more cohesive.
Okay.
There's always going to be an issue at some point, even when they're playing well together, with Kyrie and Harden knowing who's going to be shooting the ball.
Why does there have to be?
Because for one, Harden's always played that way. I think he's trying to change his game to make it work, but we don't know if it's going to be work championship caliber connectivity. Mm-hmm. We don't know. It's worked so far pretty good these 5-6 games, but when the big game comes, is that trust going to be there? See, that's what Golden State has. The trust. There isn't a who's going to shoot it this time because they already know they've had those big moments together already. Mm-hmm. The Nets haven't.
That's true.
You still have to learn how to play together. And it's one thing to learn how to play together regular season. Whole other thing to learn how to play together playoffs.
That's facts.
Whole different level, know how to play together championship level. Okay. So I got to go with Golden State.
We're gonna have to see that one play out, man.
I would love to see it play out.
I can't go against seeing Kyrie Irving, who this year has improved not only his scoring but his efficiency. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? His numbers are higher and more efficient. Mm-hmm. James Harden, since going to Brooklyn, is taking less shots, and he's leading the league in assists.
Yes.
You know what I mean? His playmaking right now is absurd. Yes. I feel like there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to make that work. And with those two playing the way they've been playing, I can't see Steph and Klay being better than a backcourt with one player who's averaging almost a triple-double with about 20 points and the other person that's averaging close to 30 very efficiently. You know what I mean? That's about as good of a backcourt as you can ask for. So give me Kyrie and James Harden.
That's cool. I'm never taking either one of those guys over Golden State's backcourt. For one, Golden State backcourt is better shooting backcourt than them, period, to me. And I'm going better defensively too, because Klay is better defensively than both of those guys.
Klay is better defensively than both of them. Klay is better defensively.
Give me the shooters, bro, and the better defender. Give me those guys. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but I could say the same thing on the other hand, where James Harden can play make better than Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson can as well. Just like Klay can defend.
I don't think he can play make better than Curry.
Why not?
Because I think Curry can play make just as good as him.
I don't think we've ever seen Curry average double-digit assists.
I think that's because we need Curry to average 30-something right now with the team they have, bro.
Let's talk about when they had everybody. They had Kevin Durant before. He still didn't average 10 assists. James Harden he's averaged 10 assists always. At least close to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Again, when I think of Harden's assists, bro, and Harden was the type of guy that damn near how Curry is a better. Damn, hold on, one more time.
Listen, if you stump, say you stump. James Harden is a better playmaker than Stephen Curry. Nothing against Stephen Curry. Curry,
I don't think he is, though. Again,
playmaking wise, James Harden, you can't beat it. You know what I'm saying? We've seen this dude lead the league in assists right now. He's still averaging over 20 points a game, close to 25. You know what I mean? Him playing alongside Kyrie, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Jordan is a lob threat. Joe Harris is a knockdown shooter. Anywhere he passes the ball, like next season, he could average 12 assists next year. Like once they flow into their offense and they figure out exactly how they want to play. They're only 6 games in and he's looking phenomenal in a playmaking aspect. I think his playmaking is better than Steph's. And I don't think it's even super close. You know what I mean? Like Steph is a pretty good playmaker. He's a really good playmaker. He's great as a shooter though. More than a playmaker. I think Golden State, he splits the playmaking with Draymond Green. And
I agree with that.
In Brooklyn, James Harden is not doing that. Kyrie's job is going to be to put the ball in the basket, plain and simple. What up, though, y'all? It's your guy, X Knows Best. And check it out, man. If you don't think I know best, let me know in the comments. Talk to us. You've seen I just stumped Unc. If you think you can do the same, let us know. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you already haven't. Another way to support, you can check us out. Go to www.patreon.com/ReadySetTV. What we asking for is simple. We're trying to get the show going. We want to make it bigger and better for us and for you. So tap in with us there. Show some support. It's very easy. So like I said, y'all, it's a few different ways to show some support to us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it with your peoples. It's X Knows Best, man. Make sure you shout us out. And also, www.patreon.com/ReadySetTV. What up, though? Kevin Durant's job is going to be put the ball in the back. Kevin Durant is going to be Kevin Durant. I don't think his game changes at all, no matter who's on his team. James Harden, his assist numbers, he could very well average 12 and a half assists.
Well, he's already averaged over 10 a couple of seasons, so I agree with you there.
Therefore, he's the better playmaker.
I mean, I'm still gonna argue with you. I still think Steph is the better playmaker. I just think Steph isn't looking to be the playmaker all the time because Draymond takes over that role. I think he does make plays, which is why he averages 6-7 assists or whatnot. But I think his first focus is scoring. You know what I'm saying? Again, if Draymond wasn't there, I think he would have more assists.
As my pops like to say, if ifs was a fifth, we'd all be sloppy drunk. If James Harden, you know what I'm saying? If James Harden only had one hand, you know what I'm saying? Would he be the best scorer? You know what I'm saying? Like we could all say, what if, you know what I mean? But we can only base it off of what we've actually seen. And we've seen James Harden come to Brooklyn and be a phenomenal playmaker, still scoring the ball. And he's not even shooting that much. I've seen games where he shot 11, 12 shots, and that's so uncharacteristic of the James Harden that we've seen in Houston. But then again, he's making it work because he's playmaking so well. You know what I mean? Every single place that he looks, he's got an ability to make a play, and it doesn't get much better than that. So just like you say, Klay has the advantage defensively, giving Golden State backcourt the defensive edge. Brooklyn has the edge when it comes to isolation scoring because both of those two can get their own shot on average, like combined, better than Steph and Klay. They have the playmaking advantage because James Harden's playmaking is better than both of theirs combined. I would give the edge to Brooklyn just because of those things. You know what I mean? The only thing I would say that Golden State does have, their 3-point shooting, where that's an advantage for sure because they do that. That's Splash Bros. You know what I'm saying? Best shooting backcourt we've ever seen. But still, every other aspect of the game, I think the edge goes to Kyrie Irving and James Harden as a backcourt.
Every aspect. So again, you're forgetting about defense.
Defensively, I'll give it to Klay. Steph has been a liability on defense. And the thing I'll say is this. We've seen James Harden, as of recent, take on the assignments and play some defense. We saw him guard Kawhi down the stretch versus Clippers recently. And we've seen him play solid defense. We've seen, not as recently, we've seen Kyrie play very solid on defense against Stephen Curry in the finals a few years ago when Cleveland won. So we've seen both of these guys play defense when they're in the big moment and when it really matters. Their defense is not their strong suit, nor are they playing defense all regular season, but who in the NBA really is.
X knows best.
Defense when they want to, and when they need to, they'll do what they need to do.
X knows best. X, you know better than that, man. Don't put Harden and defense in the same category, man. Stop it. Now again, everybody he's played hundreds of games in the league. Of course, you can pick a couple games out that he played some defense in, but he's not a defensive player, man. Stop it. He couldn't stop a cold. You know what I'm saying? So no, he's not. Please don't put him as deep. That'd be like me saying Steph be locking people up. Steph ain't playing no defense either.
I would agree.
So and Kyrie really not. He looks like he's trying to play the defense. He plays the passing lanes well. But one-on-one defense, he's not a defender either. So I'm flat out giving that edge to Golden State. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Because
we,
you can put Clay on either one of those two guards.
we saw what happened when Clay tried to guard Kyrie in the finals, though, and they lost.
Anybody. I mean, Kyrie's an offensive juggernaut, bro.
The defense doesn't matter on either one of those two guys. Let's
but
be honest.
He's still going to make it harder. Okay, put it like this. If Kyrie was being checked by James Harden, who would it be harder to score on, Harden or my guy from Golden State?
I mean, I think it'll be a little bit harder on Klay Thompson, but for a scorer,
only a little bit.
A scorer to the level of Kyrie Irving, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to be completely honest. You know what I'm saying? He could have been guarded by Michael Jordan himself and still had a productive night on offense. I don't think it really matters when you're talking about Kyrie Irving. Once he gets in that bag, he's in there, and there's nobody that can pull him out of it. Same with James Harden. So I don't think a defensive player like Klay Thompson, which he can play D, he's a really good defender. We'll see how that defense is looking coming back from that injury.
Yeah, true.
We'll see how that's looking, but you know what I mean? I don't think that defense matters. If they were to play it, this is hypothetical, you know what I'm saying? It's not what we're basing it on, but if they were to play a 2-on-2 game, Klay defense is not about to win Golden State that game because it just doesn't matter. Those guys get guarded by the best defenders in the league every night, and they put up crazy numbers. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
Well, we do know come playoff times. I'm not talking about 2-on-2 game. I'm talking about championship level basketball.
Certainly.
Defense does matter in the playoffs. It comes championship time, bro. Even if it's just a little better defense, defense matters. If you can slow up those guys that you're guarding, if you can make sure that your defensive rebounder so they're not out on the break, so you're cutting the fast break points down. And again, just the defensive type of team you are. You talk on defense so you can make sure you're switching on picks. You got a big man that's going to cover the rim. You know, defense is why some guys won championships. To me,
defense does win championships.
Question. Defense is why some teams beat other teams, you know. And I think that I'm going with the backcourt that I think is the best backcourt to be able to defend the other. And I'm going to go with Golden State's backcourt. We're not going to agree on this one. That's cool.
This is how we can settle it. If you're watching this video, go into the comments. Let us
comment below.
Who is the best backcourt? Let's say Klay's healthy. Are you taking Golden State or are you taking Brooklyn? Backcourt only. We want to hear it. We'll talk about it on the next time we get together, Unc James. I know we got to wrap it up.
Yes,
we'll see what the comments say. I know that the people got some sense. I know that they know best like I do, and I know that they'll say exactly what I've been saying. So I'm not even worried about it. But we'll see.
People, please comment below. Let X knows best understand. You rolling with Uncle James, man, because I ain't never wrong, always right, even when I'm making a left. Feel me?
Listen, man, we definitely want to say appreciate everybody, man, for coming and checking us out. Make sure you comment and let us know about the best backcourt. Make sure you comment and let us know what y'all want to hear us talking about. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Leave that like. Unc James, what you got to say to him?
Please leave that like. Become more part of the show. We want to make sure that we're giving you free control of what we're talking about with these comments that you're going to leave. And lastly, please, if you're feeling good about the show and you want to donate, please hit up patreon.com/ReadySetTV.
Tell them one more time, man. Tell them one more time. They might not have heard you.
Patreon.com/ReadySetTV.
So what we're going to do, Unc James, man, we're going to make sure that link is down in the description. Make sure that you guys check in with us, man. What up, Doe Sports, Ready Set TV. We are here. Show us some love, man. We'll be back.
What up, though?